Hey guys, if you're watching this, it means my son is still sick and I am not at school. So, such is life. You guys should still keep learning. So, here's what we're going to do. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do citations in APA format. And if you've already done some citations, check it against this video. So, I'm going to take a sample source that I got from another student's research, and I'm going to show you guys how to cite that source in APA format. So, the first place you need to go is your source. I grabbed this source for a student who wants to do some sort of research for her science fair project about how men and women handle directions differently and following those directions differently, and to see if there's a difference there. So I jumped onto Google Scholar real quick and I found in no time at all a really cool paper. Are sex differences in navigation caused by sexually dimorphic strategies or by differences in the ability to use these strategies? Basically, when men and women drive places, we get there using different strategies. And so I went through and I read the abstract real quick to make sure that it was relevant. And what they found out was that men use Euclidean information, which is basically drawing straight lines between 2 points to find the shortest routes, better than females, and females are better at using landmarks. And I thought this is great. You know, is it exactly what her research is about? No. But is it about how men and women handle information differently? Absolutely. So we're going to start with this example. Now, this is obviously a journal article. It comes out of a journal. You can see right up here, Behavioral Neuroscience. It's a date, 2002, the volume, the journal that it came out in, the number of the journal, and then 403 to 410, those are page numbers. Now, if you guys are finding this off of some sort of .com, your source isn't going to look like this, but this is the kind of information you want to look for. Here are a couple of authors and a whole list of additional authors, all out of the University of Saskatchewan. Here's some copyright information from the American Psychological Association, and it has a DOI. This is an electronic number that is unique and is assigned to journal articles and reliable pieces of work that is a fast way, it's just a string of numbers to record whose information is whose. So if once you know this, you have your source, and you know your teacher told you to go to Purdue OWL APA, and you don't know what that is, so you just type that in and you run that search. And when you run that search, your very first hit is Purdue OWL, and so you click on that, and you're following directions wonderfully at this point. Now, once you get there, even though the website's got a lot of useful information, it's not real pretty or user-friendly. So let me show you what this looks like. OWL stands for Online Writing Lab, pardon me. And here's what you guys want to see. You want to see a reference list. What you guys are making is a reference list. This website takes you through how to write a whole essay if you want, but you and I are just doing reference lists. Now, we can do a reference list with authors, articles and periodicals, which is what I found, books, other print sources, and for what you guys are going to find primarily is you're going to spend a lot of time in this electronic source. So that's the first place we want to go. And when you go there, it shows you exactly how to cite this. So online articles follow the same guidelines for printed articles, include all the information, an issue number in parentheses, author's last name, first initials with periods, additional authors, the date of publications in parentheses, the title of the article only has the first letter capitalized, unless there's a colon somewhere in the title, then the first letter after that colon would be capitalized as well. And then you do a period at the end of that, and then you go into italics. And once you're in italics, then you do the title of the periodical, the volume number, the issue number in parentheses, retrieved from the address you retrieved it from, and then at the end of that, you do your DOI. Okay, so here it talks about in some 6th edition, use the DOI format. If you're using an older numeric string, use that as a DOI. So they did change this recently, and they're recommended to use DOIs because websites can change their URLs, but the DOI is never changed. That's kind of one of the reasons we made DOIs, right? So that's a nice long-lasting link for articles. That's kind of the whole idea of the DOI, the digital object identifier. So I have a DOI. You might not have a DOI. If you don't see that somewhere in your article, then you have to use the link. It's not great, but it'll work. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up and you're going to follow these rules. And you're going to say, okay, author, author, date of publication. And so we start up here with this source and we go through our authors. Now, these guys are supposed to be alphabetized, and they're currently not, because here's Bell, B, which is not alphabetized. And so when we look through this here, we have multiple authors, and they're alphabetized, and the authors that start with A come before B, and it's alphabetically listed that way. Now, I have a lot of authors, so I might pop up here and look at what the rule is if you have a lot of authors, because I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, okay, I'm at 6 right now. So we have single author, 2 authors, 3 to 7 authors. This is my rule, right? List by names and initials, commas to separate the author's names, while the last author name is preceded again by ampersand. Okay, so I looked through here, they did their last name, first middle initial, comma, last name, first middle initial, comma, and they go on and on and on with an ampersand right here. So that is up to 7. Once you get to 7, you're going to do ellipses, the dot, 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 to separate these. Now I'm at 6, so it's going to be a little bit time consuming, but here's what you have to do. Let's take a look. Did they alphabetize them? H.M. Kernis, D.P. Cornell, C.R. Sun, and A. Berry. So no, they did not. So we're going to do them by order of appearance then. So we're going to go Saussure, I guess is Saussure, I don't know. And then a comma, and then D, M, comma, because that's our first author's last name, first middle initial. Then we're going to go Green, Cheryl, M. So our next name, we go Green, S, M, comma, and then we just go right down the list real quick here. Leeson, J, McFadden, A, another comma, Bell, which is Scott, and then finally Lauren, and their last name is Elias, E-L-I-A-S, Lauren, and there's a middle initial there as well, L-J. Okay, holy smokes. So we made it through all those. Those are all of our authors. That's where we start. Last name first, and then the first and middle initial. So we got that done. And after the author, we jump back here. We wrangled multiple authors, which is just great. We go back to our reference list, articles and periodicals, or electronic sources, depending on where you are. And we're going to do the year. So after the last period, we go a space. And the year for this one I told you guys was 2002, if I'm remembering that right. And then after that comes period, and then the title of the article that you're finding this paper in. And this article is Behavioral Neuroscience, Behavioral Neuroscience, and a period after the article title. And now we're going to go oh goodness gracious, that's the title of the periodical. I'm sorry, I'm being silly. Let's go ahead and do this. Command italics, because that is actually the periodical. The title of the article is not Behavioral Neuroscience. Silly, that's the whole periodical. The article is called, now capitalize the first letter and don't capitalize any after that, are sex differences in navigation caused by sexually dimorphic strategies or by differences in the ability to use those strategies, I think was the title. I don't know, we're going to find out, with a question mark at the end. And so now we have a non-italicized title of the article with a period at the end. And in this case, it's actually a question mark. And then we have a space, and then italicized is the title of the periodical, which is Behavioral Neuroscience. And then still italicized, we have to go to the volume number. So make sure you're still italics, which we are, which is nice. One space, So our volume number, we're going to go over here and take a look at that, was volume 116. So this is super simple. 116, right? How nice is that? Okay, and then the issue number is in parentheses after the volume number. And so we're going to go over here, and you'll notice that issue number is actually not italicized. So we're going to go parentheses, issue number 3. So you put a 3, parentheses, and just like that, you're done with that. And then you go to the pages. After this parentheses here, there's a comma. And so you put your comma there, and you go to the pages, and the pages on this thing were 403 to 410. So you just put them in that way, 403 to 410. Period at the end of that. If you don't know, put a period there because there's a lot of those. So pages, period, and then here they have the link you got it from. Now, I'm not going to have a link. I'm going to have a DOI. And so what we have to figure out is, when we do a DOI, is it uppercase DOI or lowercase DOI? And this one here has the DOI built into the website name, so that's really not a great guide for me. Article in a magazine, article in a newspaper. We could check out an electronic source. That'd probably have a guide to a DOI, don't you think? Let's see. Got it. HTTP. Nope. Okay, citing DOIs. Use a DOI format. Okay, got it. Articles with DOI. Perfect. So author, date, journal, volume, number, page range, lowercase DOI. Right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go DOI. A colon. Oh, don't capitalize it. See, I'm going to get in trouble because my computer is autocorrecting. And then the number that you got the DOI from. So for this, it's real simple. We're just going to make sure we don't get that DOI in there because I really don't want to copy that over one number at a time. That would stink. And paste. Maybe this will give Caleb Barber a nice opportunity to ruthlessly dog on my MacBook. All right, and we're there. Obviously, it put the letters in super, super small, tiny little numbers. That's ridiculous. Match destination formatting. Everything's on the up and up. Throw a period at the end, and just like that, you're done. So that is how you do an APA citation, and that is how you navigate Purdue OWL. If you finish your APA citation and you go, I don't know if I feel good about this or not, one nice thing you can kind of check out is they have a sample paper on this website, the APA sample paper, which is just basically this huge essay, which is fine, I guess. But what you can use for that essay is just scan all the way to the bottom of the essay and go up past the appendices, because they have some appendix, in their paper, which you won't have, and there's reference list in this APA paper. And so you can kind of look at this and compare. Well, I've got, my names, my initials, if they have DOIs, how are they in there, and get a good idea of if you did that right or not. And ours is looking correct. And so then you would save that, of course, and when you have this information, you'll want to be able to present that to the class. And so for this student, for example, this long, boring string of words is what she turns into me. But in front of the class, she would say, one of the sources I found shows that men and women handle information differently in the way that they drive and in the way that they navigate around town. And it's not just because they like to handle information that way, but it's actually because women are better at working with landmarks, and men are better at working with, linear street names from one place to another. And so that is, the basis for my idea. And so you want to be able to have enough of an understanding of the sources that you're citing to be able to defend that in front of your class and let them know kind of what you're using for your research. So today in class, take the sources you have and put them into APA format. Please do it correctly. If you haven't found your sources, continue to look for your sources. And when you find them, you're going to find things like titles, authors, and dates, even in resources that aren't peer-reviewed, journal article, hard science kind of stuff. You're still going to find enough information to make a pretty good citation. So I hope this was helpful. Good luck today, and I will see you when I return.